Housewife and mother Elizabeth Saylor is drowning in feelings of mediocrity and wants nothing more than a fresh start in life. So when her husband John gets a promotion at work and their family gets the opportunity to relocate, Elizabeth is overcome with joy and excitement. However, her happiness soon turns to dread when she learns that her wealthy high school tormentor is her new next-door neighbor and the wife of her husband's new boss. By any means necessary, Elizabeth must ensure that her former rival never learns of the mundane status of her life. What lengths will Elizabeth go to protect her secret? Welcome to my channel. I'm SagentT. I create inspiration for gameplay, and this build is called Homeschool Reunion. Hi guys, so today's build is centered around our main character, Elizabeth Saylor, and her family. So Elizabeth is a mother and housewife going through a difficult emotional time. She's usually an achiever and thrill seeker by nature. However, she's felt like an unmotivated failure for a while now. After she and her husband John got married while in university a few years ago, the two had their daughter Emily, and Elizabeth couldn't handle being both a new mom and a student, so she took a break from school and never really found the right time to return. So since then, she's been feeling that she hasn't done much with her life. She's insecure about her ability to be a good wife and mother while feeling this way, especially because she slightly resents John and his accomplishments. She just feels that he was able to accomplish his goals in the way that he wanted to, while she had to sacrifice a little bit in order to be a mom. She's really been craving novelty and change, and luckily her husband John has just received a promotion at work. Their family has gotten the opportunity to relocate to a new town, Copperdale, and move into this new home. So Elizabeth really wants to take this opportunity to reinvent herself and start over, but unfortunately she just learned some very unsettling news. Their new next door neighbor is her former pretentious high school tormentor slash bully slash rival and the wife of her husband's new boss. So there's a lot of tense history and competition between these two, and due to current circumstances, there is only a matter of time before they encounter each other. So although it would seem silly to dwell on the opinion of a person from her distant past, Elizabeth is highly image conscious and cannot bear the thought of her former rival finding out that she isn't successful. So she's willing to do just about anything to save face at this point. And with that level of desperation, who knows what that thing could be. So with all of that said, let's talk about the rest of the family and their beautiful new home. We're currently in the garage, and as you can see, there's a lot of unpacked boxes and loose items. They've just moved in, so they haven't had much of a chance to go through everything. This is a 4-member household: John and Elizabeth Saylor, their daughter Emily Saylor, and their little dog Pirate. The family chose this home because it's modern and simplistic, and it just seemed perfect for a fresh start. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, a perfect size for them. One of the best elements of this home is the sunroom. Elizabeth and John have really enjoyed watching Emily play in there. Pirate also likes to go in there and look out of the windows into the yard. He has a thing for barking at the squirrels and making sure they stay off of his property. So speaking of Pirate, this is his little doggy station full of all of his food and favorite treats. This is also where he guards the door and pretends that he's a guard dog 3 times his size. Now we're in Elizabeth's domain, the kitchen. Over time, Elizabeth has collected quite a few kitchen gadgets and recipe books. She's always loved to cook, and it's always been an outlet for her. She especially enjoys making fun little meals for Emily during lunchtime, and she really enjoys trying to impress John with her fancy new dishes. Anytime she's feeling low, she just turns on the oven and she goes to her happy place. Another reason cooking is so important to Elizabeth is because when she was just a teen, she lost her mom to an illness, and to feel closer to her, she would cook a lot of her mother's recipes, as her mother also loved cooking. A lot of the tin cans and dishes currently in her kitchen once belonged to her mom. She hopes to one day pass down a lot of these recipes to her own daughter, Emily. And And this is the area of the house where most of the family interactions occur. While Elizabeth spends her time cooking away, John governs the espresso machine. He is absolutely obsessed with coffee, almost to the point where it has become a permanent personality trait. And if little Emily and Pirate aren't away somewhere devising a master plan, they're in here looking for all the snacks. Elizabeth's least favorite place to be in the entire house is the laundry room. John has way too many clothes to count, and they're not even different pieces. They're all the same shirts and pants, just in different colors. Pirate loves to play tug of war with Emily's stuffed animals, so there is always sewing to be done, and Emily just loves to express her creativity through paint. This is the space where Elizabeth plans out all of her future home projects that will need to be done. She likes to keep busy, and this is one way to do it. Although the home is simplistic and classic, Elizabeth likes a bit of a retro flair, a perfect combo of her and John's individual tastes. John loves movies. That's all that needs to be said. Aside from his creative area in the house, the couch for him is the place to be. Pirate and Emily are literally his best friends, and all three of them assemble here to have late night movie/slumber parties. Oh, and to the left, can't ignore John's attempt at hanging some wall art. It adds character to the place. Before we continue with the build, let's take a second to address the elephant in the room. So you may be wondering, who is this bully Elizabeth so bothered by, and how did she even come to find that they live next door in the first place? The answer would be through a dinner party invitation that John brought home from work the other night. So John's boss and his wife are hosting a dinner party at their home for the company's newcomers. John, being new to the office, was one of the first to receive invites for both him and Elizabeth. The address was the first thing Elizabeth noticed, and the wife in the photo of the hosting couple was for sure Winnie Crenshaw, who now goes by Winnie Maddock. She's the wealthy cheerleader who made it her mission to make every day of Elizabeth's life a living nightmare. John doesn't know any of this, and Elizabeth has never even spoken of Winnie. She's always been too ashamed to relive the past, and she's even more embarrassed now that Winnie is still even able to have an effect on her. Winnie seems to have a knack for showing up in Elizabeth's life during her most trying times, so Elizabeth isn't really sure what will happen when her and Winnie finally encounter each other, but what she is certain of is that this time around, she will be the one having the last laugh. And with that, let's get back to the video. This is the area where all the hidden treasure in the house goes. Everything from old chessboards to unused chairs. This must be why Pirate plays under the stairs. Get it? Pirate, treasure. This is where Emily comes to draft up all of her and Pirate's master plans. She sits on her royal plush and purple throne, and even though she can barely see over the table, a masterpiece is produced every time. John has plans to do some gardening to really make the new house feel like home, and he even got Elizabeth a gardening set in hopes that she'll join in. Sort of tells a story. John loves being at home, and it's important to him that his environment is tidy. All of his items are always perfectly organized and neatly tucked away in his little corner. As for Elizabeth, she's always at war with herself. She despises mess but doesn't like chores or routine very much. Her items usually fall somewhere between being organized and slightly untidy. And Emily She just owns a lot of bath toys. Here we are in Emily's room. Although Emily is just a toddler, she has a lot of spunk and personality, and she's very headstrong. She experiences life to the fullest with all of her senses, and she absolutely hates to be bored. She's constantly preoccupied with doing one activity or another. Her extreme curiosity leads her to take every opportunity she can to discover something new. She's enthusiastic and entertaining, and for someone who can't speak that well, she is very charismatic. She gets a lot of her adventurous personality traits from her mom, and although she loves her mom greatly, she is definitely a daddy's girl. This is Emily's little nook where she has her dad, and sometimes mom, read her favorite bedtime stories before she's put to bed. This is Elizabeth and John's room. Usually, one partner kind of dominates the room with all of their things, but these two do a pretty good job at sharing the space equally. On this side, we have Elizabeth Saylor. This is where she sits in the morning to do her makeup and get ready for the day. Sometimes she journals to start the day off in a better mood. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, but presentation for her is very important. She does often get quite sad afterward though. She realizes that she doesn't have anywhere to go. She's unemployed and doesn't really have much of a social life outside of her husband and daughter. All of her friends are back in her old town, and she had already begun distancing herself from them before the move, out of shame. She felt inferior to them after they all graduated college and began their new careers. She keeps her old high school cheerleading gear on display because it reminds her of a time when she was active and really working towards her goals. She often lays in bed watching John work at his desk on both work and personal projects. She's so proud and happy for him, but can't help feeling envious in ways. And here we have John's corner. This is where he does all of his work, both personal and professional. He's in business and he's just been promoted to regional manager, and so on the days that he doesn't have to go into the office, he works from here. John's a devoted husband, father, and community member. He's very traditional, and his main goal in life is to provide security and stability for his family. While he's a hard worker though, he always makes time to enjoy his hobbies. One of his favorite things to do is create digital paintings, and he also loves to exercise, sometimes alone or with Elizabeth if she's feeling up to it, which is less common these days. He's not sure what's been going on with her, and all of his attempts at finding out have failed, but whatever it is, he's determined to help her get back to her old self. Let's just hope this new job promotion of his hasn't made that task near impossible. So this is the end of our story for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section. Don't forget to stick around for the screenshots, and as always, stay sagey with the gameplay. Bye!